Hey everyone, it's Clint. I'm going to try and navigate a really tough topic today. First, I want to show off some artwork. This is for that Golden Age anthology that I wrote the Silver Streak story for. The other writers are David Furr and Chuck Dixon. That's right, worked on the same book with Chuck Dixon. So great. This is going to be launching pretty soon. Let me show you one more piece of artwork here. This is a painting done by Preston Acevedo. And yeah, the whole thing looks great. Those are going to be the two covers that are available. If you want to know as soon as this is live, I would go down in the description below and you can sign up for my mailing list. So I'm interrupting my video. I know the lighting looks different. That's because I edited the video already and I forgot to add this part, but this tweet was deleted. So Adam Hughes actually posted the same kind of thing. He had people, random, again, just internet activists that were accusing him of sexualizing, I think it was Power Girl, but more in particular, because that's not illegal, but they were accusing him of sexualizing even a baby. So I had to look at the picture and I was like, what are they talking about? And I guess I saw where the baby was, and I'll be completely honest, I have no idea how they can honestly in good faith say that he was sexualizing a baby, blows my mind. And so Scott Campbell responded, it's apparently hunting season, we're all the game. So yeah, this has spread and they're going after Adam Hughes as well, but it looks like he has deleted the tweet since let's see, here we go. This is the initial tweet, just so you can see the picture. He tweeted this, some like weirdo retweeted him and had issues with it. So this is the picture, and here we go. Is it the baby that he was saying that they were, weird person was saying was sexualized? I mean, now that I look at that picture, I'm like, is that a baby? What baby has full head of hair like that? Regardless, I have no context for any of this. Regardless, that's certainly not a sexualized position, so that's a little weird. These other ones are just the nature of, I mean, it's Power Girl, let's be honest. But again, that's not a crime. If this is a problem, then you're really going to have problems with some of the other things we're going to talk about later in the video. So thanks. Back to regularly scheduled programming. All right, so I posted that video the other day about J. Scott Campbell and how basically people were, it wasn't directed at him, but it was directed at another artist that drew a picture that apparently it's not okay to draw. So the argument was that men are trash and men are not allowed to draw women. Now, of course, that's absurd, because if you had to pull in a different artist of a different gender in order to draw figures in their own gender, it just makes no sense. This is ridiculous across the board. Now, I remember there was a lot of pearl clutching a while ago. I don't know if it was a year or more ago, surrounding J. Scott Campbell and his drawings that he did of like Disney princesses or something like that. And so I'd heard a little bit about it, but didn't really get into it or anything, didn't care. And this is the problem, is that no accountability. You can say that somebody is a pedophile. You can say that somebody is a Nazi. You can say, I'm probably going to get demonetized just for saying those words. You can say anything you want about people, and for some reason, nobody's willing to look into it, or not enough people are willing to look into it to verify what it is that you're saying. So this is just a rando person online, Andrea, the CEO of Mania. And is this a thing that I wasn't aware of? Everybody's changing it. They're saying their name CEO of something. There are all these CEOs all of a sudden that are like big time SJWs. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe I'm not in with the cool crowd, but I don't know. If someone could explain that to me in the comments, that would be great. All right, so J. Scott Campbell, in just his Twitter description, he says, the well-known comic book artist, too dangerous to be verified. I like that he's owning the dangerous thing. And I know this might be a bit of a joke, but I didn't realize the extent to which people really hate J. Scott Campbell, when it was just a few years ago. He was like, the golden child, like he could do nothing wrong. And then now he's really vilified by a lot of people. This is exactly what upset me so much that I wanted to make videos on these topics, is that there are a lot of creators that are being ostracized and pushed out of comics, blacklisted in some cases, because Twitter mobs have decided that they shouldn't work in comics for ideological reasons. All right, so this random CEO says, too dangerous to be verified, more like too obsessed with sexualizing women, including minors, in my drawings to be verified. All right, this is a really sticky topic as I was trying to prepare exactly how to address it, because I feel like I have to get this out of the way. This should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sexualizing minors is wrong. It's stupid. I don't like it. I will never defend it. Drawing pictures, and I've heard that such a thing exists. I want to be blissfully ignorant. Okay, so don't I just want to go this far and no further. Okay, and that is, I've heard that there are comics that depict minors and they have stories that I would not approve of. I'll just say that much. And I'm not going to go out of my way to defend that whatsoever. So the problem here is because I know that stuff like that exists in comics and in anime for sure. Like, that stuff exists and it's okay in some circles. Automatically, if I don't know much about J. Scott Campbell, I'm going to think the worst of him. I'm going to think that he's lumped in with some of the worst things, the most repugnant things that I can think of that exist in comics or manga, or, you get the idea, sequential art. Okay, so I'm going here, and I did make a comment to J. Scott Campbell, and I said, normal people agree with you, Scott. And that was in reference to him saying that he's not down. He just can't believe that there's that many unreasonable people that thought he was trash, basically. If you want to catch up on all that, I already made a video about it and posted it yesterday. Okay, so I had a response from the CEO of Quicksilver. Notice how there's a trend going on, all these CEOs. I don't know what it is. Activists get together and they decide to do something cute. The CEO of Quicksilver says, normal people don't sexualize minors. My response was, gross, sexualizing minors? ? If you're trying to imply that Campbell does that, you need to take a break from Twitter. Okay, so normally in a conversation, this is where the evidence, the damning evidence would come out, and I would find out how wrong I am and, apologize profusely or put my tail between my legs or whatever you want to say. This is where the evidence comes out. Now, the CEO of Quicksilver posted a few of these different pictures, and I want to show them to you, and I'm really trying to have a good faith look into the criticism here, because just like with other comics creators, I don't think that they're above criticism. I think that criticism is important and that it should be looked at. So here is one picture, an X-Men that J. Scott Campbell drew sexualized, according to the CEO of Quicksilver. Now, a little surprise. It might be a surprise to you about me. I'm a very, very socially conservative person. I actually think I'm normal and like middle of the road, on these kinds of things. But as I get out into comics, I realize I'm more on the conservative end of things. So I know this is going to be unpopular, but am pretty for women dressing modestly, and not just women, men too, I guess. Now that you know that about me, I would classify this as skin tight clothing, and it's really ridiculous that we're even going over this kind of stuff. There's two things here. Is his intention and is the point here sexualizing the woman, or is the intent here that you as a comic book reader do not like the clothing that this figure is wearing? This is such a difficult thing for everyone to agree upon that I realize it's never going to happen. Where I'd have a hard time making the leap that this is a problem is when you say that this is a sexualized pose, because you could see, literally anybody in this pose anywhere. And I don't see this being sexualized. So I don't know. I have a problem making that leap. This picture was probably the worst one, or the one I just showed you. This was the quote unquote worst picture I saw from being a very, socially conservative guy looking at it from maybe a different point of view. This one was also considered sexualizing an underage character. First off, I don't know, she's like an android or something like that. I don't get where the age range is here. Second off, the pose is just laying down. I don't see how this is sexualized. That's a little confusing to me. You can see her belly button through the clothes though. But sheer fabric. We're going to get to that. Okay, so last one here. This was another one. And the comment from the CEO of Quicksilver was the pose. Now she's lifting up the hammer of Thor. bums going out away from you. Honestly, like, this is not what I would consider a sexualized pose, especially coming from J. Scott Campbell, because I mean, I've seen actual sexualized poses that he's drawn of women, and I know that you have too. If you're in comics long enough, you've seen it. I mean, I really don't think that's what the intention is here whatsoever. And that is it. Okay, if something is true in comics, it should be true throughout the rest of culture. This is why I said it's like a tough topic. I wanted to talk about it. Okay, sexualizing underage kids. Now, if you are the same type of person that is okay with this, is okay with an actual human being, an underage, a child, a boy, being sexualized, dressing up like a drag queen, if you're okay with this, but you're not okay with the comic art, then you might be a hypocrite. Right? And there's actual defenders of this, including BuzzFeed News, that their headline here says, strangers keep calling Child Protective Services on this 11-year-old drag star. There should not be an 11-year-old drag star. Period. End stop. I don't care. I feel like there's no other explanation for that. That's what drag is for. It's intended to be sexualized. Second thing, if you have a problem with the comic books, but you don't have a problem with this, Teen Vogue Generation next designer, Tia Adola, wants everyone to wear more sheer clothing. Remember how we talked about seeing belly buttons through clothes? This is Teen Vogue. This isn't Vogue. This is Teen Vogue. Do you see a problem with this? If you do, that's fine. Like, you're being consistent. You're sticking with your guns, at the least. I'll give you that. How about this? Do you remember this? This was the GQ magazine that had the Glee stars posing on it. And I think you'd be hard pressed to say that these weren't sexualized poses. This is just like the headshot one. There's the full one there for a minute. Obviously, this is sexualized because of the clothing and the poses. And if the comics were done the same way, like the same comics we were just looking at from J. Scott Campbell, I would agree with you. Those poses are intentionally sexualized. Now, the big argument here was that when it came to the Glee actors, they're actually adults. They portray children in films, but they're not. They're adults. And that seemed to be the argument that won the day, so to speak. So when it comes to drawing with J. Scott Campbell, and these characters have been around long enough that really, like, in reality, they'd be older. Obviously, that doesn't really matter because they're not real human beings. They can't age. You can make them whatever age you want. And this is why this is such a tough topic to talk about. So the only thing I'm going to get to here, because again, I'm not going to be defending drawing bad pictures of children, because I know that exists out there in the world. The problem is, and where I think if you had an honest difference of opinion, you had an honest critique, you wouldn't be going out of the way to call this person like too dangerous for minors. You wouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. You wouldn't be personally trying to destroy that person's reputation and lump them in with something that is truly vile. Rather, what you would be doing is you would say, hey, I don't like things that are drawn this way. I like things to be drawn a different way. I just feel like there's so many other ways to have this debate besides the name and shame tactic that you're getting from activists on Twitter who like to say that they're the CEO of Manila or Quicksilver or wherever else they're the CEO of. There, I survived the video. So it's like really not something I enjoy talking about, but I thought this was important because I don't think that J. Scott Campbell is being fairly characterized here. But I'd love to know your comments. What do you think? I know most of you are going to say like, what, Clint, you're way too conservative. Yeah, man, it takes all types. The difference is I'm not trying to censor anybody or name and shame. I just have my own personal preferences. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Even if you didn't like the video, I mean, I guess thumbs it down, then that's okay too. Would love to know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.